Hi, and welcome to our 10-minute core program. So this one's going to be progression off the early postpartum one that we did last time. Once again, this will be 10 minutes long. Sorry, my timer is turning off. 10 minutes long, so you can watch this and follow along. You don't have to have a clock yourself. You can also hit pause as you need to attend to any of the little ones that you have to do, attend to, and come back and keep going. And so we're going to build off the last time, which was just core compressions and getting used to engaging our abdominal muscles again. And we're going to layer some movement onto that today and also make the progressions a little bit harder. So I'm going to get my timer going. All right, so for this first minute, we're just going to do an incline plank against the wall. What we're looking for here is working on that breath strategy. So as you're breathing in, actually letting the abdomen go some as you're breathing in, and exhaling, feeling it pull back in together, but not clenching down, just having to go with the breath. So I don't want this to feel super challenging where you're like shaking. What we're trying to do is teach the abdomen how to allow that breath to work as it's having to engage a little bit more. And that's important because our abdomen is first used to help with respiration. And so if you're always gripping to kind of get core stability, you're not going to be able to breathe, which means you're not going to be able to exercise very well. So we have 15 more seconds here. So once again, in this plank position, just working on your breath with a little bit more load. If that's way too easy, you can go further down the wall here. But it shouldn't be something where you're shaking, you're able to breathe in and out. All right, you're gonna come out of there. Now you're gonna come to a standing position, same concept, but we're gonna squat up and down. So the reason why we're doing a squat up and down to help with that abdomen is it's a functional movement. You're having to squat a bunch. Also, as the glutes get going, the glutes are important for our trunk stability. So you're gonna breathe in as you go down, exhale up. And I really wanna make sure as you're coming to a standing position here that you're not pushing or tucking under. You should see our video on restoring alignment in that core strategy for the reasoning behind that, but you're ending in this standing straight, almost kind of like leaning forward position. So breathe in as you're going down, exhaling as you're coming up. You can keep doing it as I'm talking. And just feeling how everything should work together to find that end position here. 10 more seconds, going down and up. And in 3 seconds, we're gonna come now into a half kneeling position. So come down to one knee. In this position here, you have two options. One, you can just push your hand and your knee together. What you're doing here is getting that diagonal connection going. So that can be really good for anybody that has a diastasis, getting those diagonal fibers working together as a team and breathing in this position. Once again, when you breathe in, you want to be able to let that stomach expand some. You don't want to be clenching and gripping. It's been 30 seconds, so let's switch sides. So hips are level, opposite hand and knee, pushing into each other, feeling it come through the core, not the pec. You might feel a little bit of inner thigh happening. As you're breathing in, you're letting your abdomen expand, so you're not over gripping or bearing down. 10 more seconds, just breathing in and out. All right, and you're gonna come stand up, and we're actually gonna go back into that incline plank position again. Now, if this was pretty easy the first time around and you feel like you have that breath strategy down where you can let your abdomen go as you breathe in and have it re-engage as you come back together, then you can add in a march. So you can bring one knee up and then come down and then the other, focusing on not letting everything shift and move. If you lose your breath with this, so like you're having to hold your breath or you can't keep a continuous in and out, that's probably too challenging. So you can march in place here. This just is adding a little bit more functional movement, or you can take one arm on and off. Once again, making sure that you continuously breathe in and out, or the other option would be opposite arm and leg on and off. That one's even harder. Once again, making sure that you can have that continuous breath in and out and that you're not losing your spinal position. So you can see I start to tuck under some there. This one's actually a bit hard for me right now. Okay, we're gonna come back into that squat. If you want, you can hold some weight. So sometimes having a little bit of load can be helpful. You're breathing in on the way down, exhaling up. Go down only as far as you can without your back starting to change shape. So for some, it might be here, and that's where we have That control. For others, it might be going down to parallel and back up, but squatting up and down. Once again, focusing on breathing in on the way down. Exhale like you're blowing out birthday candles on the way up. That's gonna help you naturally engage your core without over engaging it where you're clenching and stuff. So you should feel like things are zipping up and together as you're coming up. You have 15 more seconds of that. Breathing in on the way down, exhaling up. Blowing out those birthday candles. All right, now you're gonna come down to that kneeling position again. A progression of this, if you have a band at home, would be tying it to a doorknob or like up on your banister, and then you can pull across towards that knee. And this should be your obliques doing this, so it's not your arms pulling. It's kind of like you're trying to rotate your side here towards your knee. You'd exhale as you rotate, inhale back. Once again, making sure you're not over engaging. We want fluid abs. You would switch sides now if you're using the band. If you don't have a band at home, you can just do that pressing, or you can take a weight. It's a little bit different action, but you can take a light weight and do the same thing, coming up and down, getting some rotation through there. Or like I said before, just pressing is good, but making sure you can breathe in and out the entire time. We want dynamic engagement, not clenching. All right, we're gonna stand back up. Last time through with that plank. So here, you can just breathe in this position. Make sure you're not tucked under too much like this, but also make sure you're not kind of just arching your butt up like this. Find that neutral spot. You can do the legs marching. You can do the arms coming off. You do opposite arm and leg towards each other. Just making sure you can breathe the entire time and that you're not having a ton of shifting and moving going on. You have 25 more seconds of that. If that's still pretty easy, and easy meaning like you don't have to think about anything, then you can keep coming down towards the floor. If you feel like you have to hold your breath or you can't keep that continuous breathing in and out, then it's too challenging, even if you don't feel like you're working very hard. All right, you have 3 seconds, so let's come into that standing position, that squat position. You're going to come down and up again. You're gonna hold a weight. If you wanna incorporate the upper body, you could stagger your feet a little bit, and you could squat down with one arm coming back and then back up again like this, like so. That just works your core a little bit differently, and you can switch legs after a couple of reps. Swinging like so, or you could just do your standard squat here, like so, but you keep working for 30 seconds. You should feel like when you're standing up that that your pelvic floor is lifting up some, your abdomen's kind of zipping together, things are kind of cinching up, but you're not over gripping. I say that a lot and remind that a lot because I see a lot of people over grip their abdominals. All right, you're gonna come back down into that kneeling position, either doing the version with the band coming across, or you can press your hand and your knee together into each other. In this half kneeling position, make sure you're not tucking and squeezing that butt a ton forward either. You want your butt to be a little relaxed and you have some curve through here. This diagonal pattern is just great for, like think of it as like an X when you do both sides. So it's pulling those abdominal muscles back in and together. Also, our body works throughout the day in more diagonal patterns. It doesn't just work straight up and down or side to side. So adding this rotation is good. I missed a switch, so switch sides. I apologize. I was just jabbering on. So switch sides and pushing. Breathing in and out. You have 5 more seconds. And now for this last minute, you can pick one of your choice. You can go back to that plank position. You can do the squat. You can do that half kneeling position. If half kneeling is getting pretty easy for you, you can do like a stagger stance or a lunge position. And you can push here, or in that stagger stance position, you can pull that band down and across, just making sure that you're not twisting a ton. With that, the rotation's coming through the trunk, not through the hips. You have 30 more seconds. One of my favorite exercises is actually a stagger stance calf raise, and coming up and down. I find that's a great way to work on your balance, and it works on mimicking when you're pushing off walking. And also it's a hard movement, at least for me personally, and I often find a lot of my patients have a hard time with that, especially postpartum. All right, so it's been 10 minutes. So you got your core work in for the day. Good job, and check back in a couple weeks for our next progression.